At the beginning of the drama, we are introduced to a girl named Mireille, who is known as the ugliest girl in her entire school. One day, a handsome boy suddenly approaches her and hands her a love letter, asking her to accept his feelings. Mireille becomes incredibly happy because nobody has ever confessed to her before. But when she opens the letter, her happiness instantly shatters. Instead of a confession, the letter is filled with cruel insults about her appearance. Moments later, the same boy returns with his friends, laughing at her and revealing that everything was just a prank. They mock her for believing a handsome guy would ever like someone ugly like her while recording her reaction to upload online. The story then shifts to the present day, where Mireille is preparing for her first day of college. She looks nervous because she secretly underwent full plastic surgery and completely changed her appearance. Before leaving home, she sprays on her favorite perfume, the one thing that always gave her confidence, and tells herself that from today onward, she will finally live happily. When Mireille removes her mask, we finally see her new face properly. She has become incredibly beautiful. As she enters college, everyone keeps staring at her and turning back to look at her again and again. But because of her painful past, Mireille becomes anxious and wonders if people are still judging her appearance negatively. In reality, her old appearance was so different that people either mocked her or became frightened after seeing her. But now the opposite is happening. Everyone is attracted to her beauty instead. Even so, Mireille still struggles to believe it herself. Soon, a cheerful boy stops her and asks if she's a new student. When Mireille says she belongs to the Faculty of Science, the boy excitedly reveals he's from the same department. He immediately asks for her number, casually admitting that she's really cute and he wants to become friends with her first. Hearing someone call her cute for the first time in her life completely shocks Mireille. She gets so nervous that she lies about not having her phone and quickly runs away. While rushing off, she accidentally crashes into a handsome boy named Kai, the male lead of the drama. Mireille nervously apologizes and runs away again. Kai finds her strange, but then notices she dropped her perfume. The fragrance instantly reminds him of someone from his past. Later, Mireille enters her classroom and quietly observes the other girls, still comparing herself to everyone because of her insecurities. Soon, two girls approach her and invite her to sit with them. They introduce themselves as Madhuri and Sakura, and immediately compliment Mireille's beauty. Hearing genuine praise for the first time makes Mireille emotional, and she almost cries. She explains that nobody ever complimented her appearance before. She then remembers her painful school days when girls constantly mocked her face and avoided her. Soon after, another girl enters the classroom, our second female lead, Honami. The moment Mireille sees her, she becomes stunned because Honami looks naturally beautiful in every way. Honami sits in front of Mireille, warmly greets her, and compliments her appearance too. However, when Mireille introduces herself, Honami suddenly becomes thoughtful, almost as if she has already realized Mireille underwent plastic surgery. Still, Honami politely asks for her number. Mireille becomes emotional again because such a beautiful girl wants to be her friend. But just as she takes out her phone, the cheerful boy from earlier suddenly appears and jokingly exposes her lie about not having one. He says they should become friends first, and Mireille awkwardly agrees. At that exact moment, Kai enters the classroom. Every girl immediately starts admiring his looks. The second Mireille notices him, she hides her face in panic because handsome boys remind her of the bullying she suffered in the past. As the students introduce themselves one by one, Sudo, the cheerful boy, encourages everyone to participate. Honami introduces herself first, and naturally, everyone praises her beauty. Surprisingly though, Honami says Mireille is even prettier than her. Then Mireille nervously introduces herself while Honami kindly cheers her on. However, Kai keeps staring at Honami suspiciously, almost as if he already senses her sweet personality might be fake. Later, Sakura jokes that after seeing girls this beautiful, she feels embarrassed introducing herself. Then Kai introduces himself with only his name, somehow making him look even cooler. After class, several boys surround Honami asking for her number, and she happily gives it to everyone. Meanwhile, Mireille chats with her new friends. Sakura asks why they chose the science program. Madhuri says she loves food-related subjects, while Mireille reveals she dreams of becoming a perfumer someday. The girls excitedly say that now they understand why she always smells so nice. Their words make Mireille happy, but they also remind her of her painful past when classmates mocked her for wearing perfume, saying ugly girls had no right to use such things. Trying to stay positive, Mireille says she wants to show them her favorite perfume, but then realizes she lost it. Just then, Kai quietly walks over and returns the bottle she dropped earlier. Mirei quickly thanks him. From a distance, Honami notices Kai paying attention to Mirei instead of her, and she clearly dislikes it. At the same time, Sudo joins the group while Kai prepares to leave. Someone jokingly says that Kai and Honami would make a perfect couple. Honami shyly acts embarrassed while Kai remains completely uninterested. Then Sakura compliments Honami's eyelashes and asks if they're natural. Honami proudly says she has never had surgery. While saying this, she intentionally looks toward Mirei. Then she directly asks whether Mirei's eyelashes are natural too. Mirei freezes, unable to answer. But Honami keeps repeating the question on purpose, clearly trying to expose her in front of everyone. Kai immediately realizes what Honami is doing and finally gets angry. He bluntly asks if she enjoys embarrassing Mirei publicly. Honami acts innocent and pretends not to understand, but Kai coldly says she knows exactly what she's doing. Then Honami suddenly plays the victim, acting as though Kai scared her. Surprisingly, Mirei immediately defends Honami even though she was trying to humiliate her. Seeing this frustrates Kai, who asks Mirei if she's really incapable of understanding people's true intentions. Sudo gets upset at Kai for speaking harshly, but Sakura quickly calms everyone down before the argument grows worse. Later that night, Mirei happily talks with her mother on the phone and says everyone at college seems nice and actually likes her now. Her mother feels relieved hearing this. However, she then reveals something worrying. Mirei's father still knows nothing about her plastic surgery and wants to attend the college welcome event to see her. Mirei immediately panics and begs her mother to stop him from coming because she fears everything will be ruined. Her mother agrees and reminds her that they still need to repay the huge cost of the surgery. Mirei promises to start working a part-time job to help financially. Soon after, Mirei's father comes home. Her mother quickly ends the call, then lies to him by saying there is no college event. Hearing this disappoints him deeply because he misses his daughter terribly. Later, Mirei sits alone in front of the mirror, remembering all the cruel bullying she suffered because of her old face, especially fake confessions used to humiliate her. Still, she convinces herself that her life has finally changed and she can now enjoy a normal college life. But the next day, Mirei's father secretly arrives at the university anyway. Coincidentally, he meets Sakura and Midori and politely asks them to take him to his daughter. Since they know Mirei from class, the girls happily agree. At the same time, Mirei arrives at college cheerfully and meets Honami, who warmly compliments her and asks to take pictures together. Mirei becomes happy and the two begin chatting comfortably. But suddenly, Sakura and Midori arrive together with Mirei's father. The moment Mirei sees him, she completely panics. Of course, her father cannot recognize her because of the surgery. When Honami asks whether he's really her father, Mirei quickly denies it. Confused, her father starts thinking he found the wrong person and quietly prepares to leave. However, Honami suddenly stops him and asks if he has a photo of his daughter. At this point, it becomes obvious that Honami has already figured out the truth and desperately wants to see Mirei's old face. So Mirei's father begins searching through his phone while the girls gather around excitedly. But before anyone can see the pictures, Mirei suddenly shouts at everyone to stop. Crying, she begs them not to look at her old face because she never wanted anyone at college to see it. The moment her father properly hears her voice, he finally realizes that this beautiful girl is actually his daughter. Shocked, he slowly asks whether she truly underwent plastic surgery. Mirei bursts into tears and admits everything. She explains that she changed her entire face because she was terrified people would treat her the same way they did in school. But now, because he came here today, she feels like everything has been ruined. After saying this, Mirei runs away crying while her friends stand there completely shocked. Her father slowly collapses to his knees, devastated that the face of the daughter he loved has changed forever. But surprisingly, Honami secretly smiles while watching everything happen. She is clearly enjoying the fact that Mirei's biggest secret has been exposed. Meanwhile, Mirei keeps running while crying uncontrollably, believing she was never meant to be happy. Suddenly, she crashes into Kai once again, almost falling, but Kai quickly catches her. Mirei tightly shuts her eyes and says she just wants to disappear from the world. When she finally opens them and sees Kai standing close to her, she becomes nervous again. Kai gently asks why she's crying and whether she's okay, but Mirei runs away once more, accidentally dropping her perfume again. At the same time, Sudo notices Mirei crying but cannot stop her in time. Meanwhile, Honami pretends to care and politely asks Mirei's father if he's all right. But without saying anything, he quietly leaves. Sakura and Midori then start worrying about Mirei and wonder how badly she must be hurting right now. Soon, Kai arrives there too. Before he can answer Sakura's questions about Mirai, Honami suddenly starts gossiping about her, casually mentioning the plastic surgery and how even her own father couldn't recognize her. Hearing this finally irritates Kai. He coldly tells Honami to stop pretending she cares because she's clearly enjoying Mirai's suffering. But Honami once again acts innocent and pretends not to understand what he means. Ignoring her completely, Kai walks away while thinking only about Mirai. In the next scene, Mirai is standing alone in a corner, crying uncontrollably. Suddenly, Pseudo appears behind her and hugs her tightly. He comforts her, saying he doesn't know why she's crying, but promises to always stay by her side and make her happy. Then he suddenly confesses that he has liked her since the very first day. Hearing this completely shocks Mirai. She remembers how, during school days, she used to watch couples and wonder if anyone would ever truly love her because deep inside, she desperately wanted to be loved too. Pseudo slowly pulls her closer and even tries to kiss her. Mirai keeps trying to stop him, but Pseudo refuses to back away. Just then, Kai suddenly appears there. The moment Pseudo notices him, he becomes nervous and awkwardly says he'll talk to Mirai later before quickly leaving. Afterward, Kai quietly hands Mirai her perfume again, saying she dropped it once more. As Mirai thanks him and prepares to leave, Kai suddenly mentions that it's blueberry perfume. Mirai becomes surprised and asks how he knows. She even wonders if it's his favorite too, but Kai coldly replies that he actually hates the fragrance. Mirai feels offended, but then Kai shocks her even more by revealing that he already knows her. He says they studied together at Matode Junior High School. This completely stuns Mirai. Kai then directly asks why she underwent plastic surgery. A flashback reveals that during middle school, Kai once approached Mirai while she sat alone and asked her to buy him the same perfume she wore. This reveals that Kai remembered her all these years because of her perfume. Meanwhile, Mirai remains shocked that Kai recognized her despite the surgery, while she herself cannot remember him at all. Nervously, she begs him not to tell anyone about her old face and quickly runs away again. Later, when she reaches home, Mirai keeps thinking about Kai. If he could recognize her after such drastic surgery, why can't she remember him? But then she suddenly notices her father waiting for her. Emotionally, he grabs her hand and says they should immediately change her face back to how it originally was. Mirai angrily pulls away and asks why he keeps trying to ruin her life. She says she hated her old face so much that she felt she would eventually die from all the pain connected to it, which is why she chose surgery. Her father tearfully replies that even if the world didn't think she was beautiful, she was still the most beautiful daughter to him. After saying this, he walks away crying, leaving Mirai feeling guilty as well. The next day, Mirai arrives at college to collect a withdrawal form because she has decided to quit college entirely after everything that happened. Outside, Pseudo suddenly notices the form in her hands and asks her to have lunch with him first instead of questioning her directly. While they eat together, Kai silently watches them from nearby. Pseudo eventually asks why she wants to leave college. Mirai simply replies that there are personal reasons she cannot stay anymore. At this point, Pseudo still doesn't know about her surgery. Suddenly, Pseudo confesses again. He tells Mirai he genuinely likes her and promises to always stay by her side. Hearing this slowly makes Mirai believe his feelings may actually be sincere. Nervous, she says she'll answer him after returning from the washroom. Inside the washroom, Mirai thinks deeply about everything. She realizes Pseudo genuinely seems kind and maybe he can give her the love and care she always wanted. Finally, she decides to accept his confession. But the moment she returns and says she's ready to become his girlfriend, Pseudo suddenly changes completely. Awkwardly, he tells her not to take his confession seriously and claims he said everything without thinking. Hearing this completely breaks Mirai. Instantly, all her old trauma returns and she starts imagining everyone laughing at her again just like in school. At that exact moment, a loud crash is heard. Kai had intentionally tripped Pseudo and casually apologized, claiming it happened by mistake. Furious, Pseudo attacks him, but Kai easily throws him aside, shocking everyone nearby. Pseudo becomes even angrier and grabs a chair to attack Kai. Mirai quickly steps between them to stop the fight, but in his anger, Pseudo accidentally pushes her away. She falls near Kai, creating an awkward silence as Kai stares closely at her, while Pseudo realizes everyone now sees him as the villain. Embarrassed, he storms off. Kai asks Mirai if she's okay, but she becomes even more nervous. At that moment, Honami arrives and immediately pretends to be concerned about Mirei. Seeing her, Kai sarcastically praises her for putting on another performance. Honami gets annoyed, claiming she's genuinely worried, but Kai simply glares at her before walking away. A flashback then reveals what actually happened earlier while Mirei was in the washroom. Honami had approached Pseudo and confessed that she liked him. Shocked, Pseudo admitted he always liked Honami more, but assumed a naturally beautiful girl like her would never be interested in him. He cruelly added that he never truly liked plastic beauty Mirei anyway. Honami simply suggested they talk later, which is why Pseudo suddenly rejected Mirei so harshly. The worst part is that Kai overheard the entire conversation while eating nearby. Back in the present, Honami continues pretending to support Mirei, making Mirei genuinely believe she cares about her. But later, while Mirei walks alone through a corridor, Pseudo suddenly drags her into an empty classroom and angrily accuses her of saying things to Honami. Terrified, Mirei says she doesn't understand what he means, but Pseudo furiously accuses her of being jealous of naturally beautiful girls like Honami. He even says he hates girls who undergo plastic surgery and finds her disgusting. Those words completely shatter Mirei. Overwhelmed, she pushes Pseudo away and runs off crying. Pseudo chases her, but Mirei eventually reaches a quiet place where she finally breaks down, saying everything is becoming just like before again. Right then, Kai appears and asks why she's crying again. Mirei says everyone has now discovered her surgery, which was supposed to remain secret. But instead of comforting her normally, Kai once again asks why she underwent surgery in the first place. Mirei emotionally replies that since Kai already saw her old face, he should already understand. She begins questioning herself, asking why she can't be naturally beautiful like Honami, or even pretty like Sakura and Midori. But then Kai tells her something important. He says she judges everyone only by appearance, which is wrong. According to him, people should be judged by their personality and heart, not their face. The people with genuinely kind hearts are the ones who matter most. After saying this, Kai quietly leaves. Mirei stands there silently thinking about his words for the first time. Slowly, she starts realizing he may actually be right. Later that night, Mirei sits alone in her room, staring repeatedly at the withdrawal form, unsure what to do. The next day at college, Sakura and Midori warmly ask if she's okay, because they genuinely worry about her. Their kindness makes Mirei realize how wrong she was for secretly rating everyone only by appearance. Seeing she still has caring friends beside her, Mirei finally decides not to leave college anymore. But just then, several nearby girls mockingly whisper that she's the plastic surgery girl. Sakura angrily glares at them until they go silent, proving that the entire college has already heard the rumors. Later, while the girls eat lunch together, they notice something shocking. Pseudo is openly telling everyone about Mirei's surgery. Sakura immediately gets furious, but Mirei stops her from confronting him. Quietly staring at her withdrawal form again, Mirei begins thinking maybe a happy college life was never meant for her after all. But suddenly, loud shouting erupts behind them. When everyone turns around, they are shocked to see Kai pouring hot noodles directly onto Pseudo's head. Of course, Pseudo angrily attacks him, but Kai grabs him by the throat with one hand and coldly warns that if he ever insults another girl again, he won't spare him next time. Terrified, Pseudo immediately apologizes. Watching this leaves Sakura and Midori deeply impressed. Meanwhile, Mirei suddenly feels like she has seen something similar before. Then she remembers a moment from school when some boys were bullying her until another boy suddenly poured noodles on them and told them to focus on studying instead of talking nonsense. And finally, Mirei realizes something shocking. The boy who protected her back then was actually Kai. Even now, though, she still cannot properly remember his face from those days. In the present, Kai walks over to Mirei and tells her she also judges people based on appearance, meaning she honestly isn't much different from Pseudo. After saying that, he walks away. Those words hurt Mirei deeply. But this time, she runs after Kai and admits he's right. She confesses that she truly did judge people based on looks, but emotionally says he still cannot understand how painful it is to spend your entire life being called ugly or being unloved because of your face. After saying this, Mirei runs away crying once again, deciding she never wants to get emotionally close to Kai because she feels even he misunderstands her. Later, Mirei talks with her mother on the phone about her father. Her mother explains that he's still upset, but things will slowly get better and encourages Mirei to enjoy her college life. Even after the call, Mireille remains unsure about her future. While browsing online, she suddenly discovers a perfume shop and decides to visit it. Inside the store, she quietly looks at perfumes until a woman approaches and asks if she likes fragrances. Mireille excitedly replies that she absolutely loves them and dreams of becoming a perfumer someday. The woman asks how she became interested in perfumes. Mireille explains that years ago she read an article written by a famous perfumer named Miss Shirashi. One line especially stayed with her. Fragrance is something people feel with closed eyes, meaning it's loved not because of appearance but because of scent. That idea touched Mireille so deeply that it inspired her dream. Hearing this surprises the woman, who says she's shocked Mireille still remembers those old words. Then Mireille realizes something unbelievable. The woman standing before her is actually Miss Shirashi herself, the very person who inspired her life. Mireille instantly becomes emotional and excited, saying Miss Shirashi changed her life completely and gave her hope during her darkest moments. Hearing this makes Miss Shirashi smile warmly, before suggesting they sit somewhere comfortable and talk properly, since she's happy to meet such an adorable fan. Then both of them go to a restaurant together, where Miss Shirashi suddenly asks Mireille which perfume she is wearing. Mireille replies that it's blueberry perfume, but then realizes Miss Shirashi is wearing the exact same fragrance too. Miss Shirashi awkwardly apologizes and says she forgot about it. Then she asks Mireille why she likes that perfume so much. But after thinking carefully, Mireille realizes she doesn't even remember the reason anymore. She explains that her past life was extremely painful, so she buried many memories deep inside her mind. Hearing this, Miss Shirashi says her situation is actually very similar. In fact, because of her painful memories, she eventually stopped making perfumes altogether. This makes Mireille feel really sad for her. Meanwhile, Honami tries inviting Kai to lunch, but Kai coldly refuses because he genuinely cannot stand girls like her anymore. Later, Kai arrives at the same restaurant and suddenly notices Mireille sitting there, but the moment Mireille sees him, she nervously tries to hide herself. However, things become even more shocking when Miss Shirashi sees Kai. She looks completely stunned, almost like she already knows him. Meanwhile, Kai is equally surprised after seeing her, but instead of talking, he suddenly becomes angry and immediately leaves the restaurant. Mireille cannot understand what just happened, and then Miss Shirashi finally reveals the truth. Kai is actually her son. Hearing this completely shocks Mireille. Now, in the next scene, a senior student offers Sakura and Midori a job with triple salary. Hearing this instantly excites both girls, and they immediately agree. Then the senior tells them to invite their friends too. Right then, Sakura and Midori notice Mireille nearby and wave at her happily. The senior also looks toward Mireille and becomes impressed by her elegant personality, so he tells them to definitely bring her as well. Later, we see Mireille remembering everything Miss Shirashi had told her earlier. Through a flashback, we learn that Miss Shirashi begged Mireille to somehow help her meet Kai, because she has not seen her son for the last 6 years. She says today was the first time she finally saw him again, but Kai hates her so much that he refuses to even meet her, which is why now only Mireille can help her. Mireille is still thinking about this when suddenly Kai comes and sits beside her. He directly asks what she was doing with that woman and how she even knows her. Mireille nervously replies that she simply met her at the perfume shop. Then, gathering all her courage, Mireille suddenly asks Kai out for tea. But she says it so loudly that everyone nearby hears it and starts laughing, making her instantly embarrassed. But surprisingly, Kai says yes. Now both of them arrive at a restaurant together. However, the moment they sit down, Mireille suddenly apologizes to Kai. Kai asks why she's apologizing because according to him, she did nothing wrong. But right then, Miss Shirashi suddenly arrives there. The moment Kai sees her, his mood is instantly ruined. Then Mireille awkwardly admits that this was the real reason she apologized earlier, and now she should probably leave. But Kai angrily tells her to sit down. So Mireille quietly sits again. Now Kai's mother tries explaining that she only wanted one chance to clear up the misunderstandings between them. But Kai coldly replies that there are no misunderstandings at all. According to him, the truth is simple. She abandoned them and left. And because of that, he never wants to talk to her again. After saying this, Kai immediately leaves. Mireille quickly runs after him while continuously apologizing. Then Kai tells her that it's fine because he already understands his mother must have requested her to arrange this meeting, so he does not blame her. But when Mireille apologizes once more, Kai suddenly stops walking, causing her to accidentally bump into him. Then Kai asks something important. Why does she apologize for every little thing? Mireille nervously explains that she's honestly scared of him because he gets angry easily, says harsh things without warning, and even gets into fights. At first, Kai stays silent because he realizes she's judging him based on what happened with Pseudo. But then Kai changes the topic and explains that there was actually a reason why he once asked her to help him find that perfume. And through another flashback, we finally see the truth. Back in school, after Kai saved Mireille from bullying, he noticed her reading perfume magazines and asked whether she could help him find a perfume called Blueberry. At that time, Mireille helped him find it. Later, when Mireille herself wanted to wear the same perfume, Kai strangely told her not to use it. Back in the present, Mireille finally realizes who Kai truly is. She immediately says, "So you were that boy." Then Kai explains the real reason behind everything. He says he actually hated that perfume because his mother always used to wear it when he was little. Even after she left, that fragrance remained deeply connected to his memories of her. Sometimes he missed her so much that he searched for that perfume again just to feel close to her through its scent. But over time, he convinced himself that he had forgotten her forever. Hearing this, Mireille gently tells him that maybe he should also try understanding his mother's side. She explains that imagine dedicating your entire life to perfumes, and then suddenly losing your sense of smell forever. Hearing this makes Kai stop. Then Mireille reveals another shocking truth. She asks whether Kai really doesn't know about his mother's nose surgery. Mireille explains that Miss Shirashi once suffered a serious injury, because of which she completely lost her ability to smell fragrances. And that's why she wore that perfume so often. She desperately hoped she might somehow smell fragrances again someday. But sadly, that never happened. Hearing this leaves Kai completely shocked, because he genuinely never knew any of it. Later that night, Kai calls his father and asks why his mother suddenly changed back when he was in middle school. But his father refuses to talk about it and coldly says not to mention that woman again because he hates her. Hearing this, Kai quietly cuts the call and starts wondering what truth has been hidden from him all these years. The next day, when Mireille arrives at college, she keeps worrying about Kai. But right then, the same senior guy approaches her and introduces himself as Mukai, the head of the event company offering the high-paying job. Then Mukai suddenly becomes very direct and admits that he found Mireille attractive the moment he saw her. He even asks her out for sushi sometime because, according to him, she looks really cute. Hearing this surprises Mireille. She awkwardly asks whether he knows about her plastic surgery before immediately trying to leave. But Mukai stops her and says he already heard all the rumors, yet he genuinely does not care about any of it. According to him, Mireille simply looks cute, and that alone is enough for him. Hearing this makes Mireille nervous because for the first time, someone seems completely unbothered by her surgery. Later in chemistry class, Kai is clearly distracted and unable to focus. Even the teacher notices this and warns him to pay attention. Meanwhile, Mireille quietly keeps watching him. After class ends, Mireille walks up to Kai and suggests they leave together. But when Honami sees them together, she instantly becomes irritated. Later, Kai admits that after learning the truth, he feels guilty for misunderstanding his mother for so many years without ever giving her a chance to explain herself. Mireille gently tells him that it's still not too late to talk to her properly. Kai then asks whether Mireille would come with him, but after hesitating for a moment, he suddenly stops himself from asking further. Right then, Mireille receives a call from Mukai, who directly asks her out on a date. Mireille gets shocked by how straightforward he is, but after looking toward Kai, she refuses Mukai's invitation and says she already has something important to do today. And hearing that secretly makes Kai happy. Then Mireille calls Kai's mother and invites her to a restaurant. Now when Miss Shirashi arrives, Mireille quietly leaves outside to give mother and son some space. Then Miss Shirashi tells Kai how happy she is that he finally agreed to meet her. Kai replies that he recently learned about her injury and also found out she had quit being a perfumer. He admits that because he hated her so much, he avoided everything related to her and never even tried learning the truth. Then Kai finally asks the question that haunted him for years. What exactly happened back then? And finally, Miss Shirashi reveals the entire truth. She explains that when she launched her perfume brand, Invisible, it became an instant success. But Kai's father hated her growing popularity because he wanted her to stay home and focus only on family life. However, Miss Shirashi refused to abandon her dream, which only made Kai's father angrier. Then one night, during a huge fight, Kai's father violently pushed her, causing a severe injury that permanently damaged her nervous system and stole her sense of smell forever. That was the real reason she suddenly became emotionally broken and isolated. But instead of telling Kai the truth, his father lied to him completely. He told Kai that his mother was having an affair and wanted to leave the family. After hearing those lies, young Kai started hating his mother deeply. Eventually, he himself told her to leave the house. At that time, Miss Shirashi was already drowning in depression. So after hearing those words from her own son, she finally left. Later, Kai's father divorced her and completely separated her from Kai. Back in the present, Miss Shirashi apologizes to Kai for all the suffering he went through because of this. Meanwhile, Kai quietly listens in complete shock, unable to believe his father lied to him for so many years. A little later, Miss Shirashi comes outside and warmly thanks Mirai, saying that meeting her felt like meeting an angel. Hearing this makes Mirai really happy. Then, after Miss Shirashi leaves, Mirai sits beside Kai and softly asks whether he's okay. Kai quietly replies that he's fine. Then Mirai tells him that throughout all this time, Kai has always helped her, yet she never got the chance to give him anything in return. So she takes out a small box and gives it to him, explaining that there's a perfume inside. She says she knows he doesn't really like perfumes, but maybe someday he might start liking them. Now Kai starts opening the box, but Mirai quickly stops him and nervously tells him to wait until she leaves first, because the perfume's name is a little embarrassing. Then she immediately runs away out of embarrassment. After she leaves, Kai finally opens the box and sees the perfume name written on it. And the meaning behind that perfume name is basically a girl confessing her feelings. Seeing this completely shocks Kai, and now he finally understands why Mirai warned him not to focus on the name. Now in the next scene, Mirai arrives at the workplace where she and the other girls are supposed to do their new job. Sakura, Maduri, Honami, and several others are there too. The manager starts assigning positions based purely on looks. And Honami are considered especially beautiful. They're placed at the front while the others are told to stay behind. Then the girls are asked to taste a drink, but honestly, everyone finds it terrible. After that, Mirai notices something uncomfortable. The girls are supposed to wear extremely short dresses with weird designs. Seeing this instantly makes Mirai nervous. Meanwhile, Honami confidently wears the outfit and immediately attracts everyone's attention. But when Mirai changes into it, she feels completely uncomfortable. Now Honami keeps smiling sweetly and effortlessly charming everyone, while Mirai cannot even properly speak because of how awkward she feels. The manager notices this and tells Mirai to act more like Honami, but no matter how hard she tries, she simply cannot do it. And right then, Kai suddenly arrives there. At first, he becomes surprised seeing Mirai dressed like that, but he quickly realizes she's feeling extremely uncomfortable. So Kai tells her to talk to the manager because she clearly cannot work while feeling this uneasy. Then Kai even accompanies her for support. However, when Mirai tries explaining her situation, the manager rudely refuses to listen and tells her to get back to work. At that moment, Kai suddenly walks in himself, grabs Mirai's hand, and firmly tells the manager that she is quitting this job. Then, he immediately takes her out of there. This leaves Mirai slightly shocked because Kai is openly standing up for her so strongly. But while the two are walking outside together, they suddenly run into Mukai. The moment Mukai sees Mirai, he happily walks over to talk with her. Then Mirai introduces Kai and explains that Mukai is actually the head of the event company. But Kai clearly has zero interest in talking to him. Meanwhile, Mukai asks Mirai why she is not at work anymore. Mirai explains that she felt uncomfortable wearing those clothes, so she left and probably cannot continue the job. Hearing this, Mukai calmly says not to worry because he will personally handle the situation with the manager. But then Mukai notices Kai holding Mirai's hand, so he suddenly asks Kai who exactly he is. He even points out that Mirai told him she did not have a boyfriend. Kai coldly replies that he simply came there to take Mirai away, and Mukai does not need to know anything more than that. After saying this, Kai starts leaving with Mirai again. But before they go, Mukai asks Kai for his name, and since Kai is not scared of anyone, he directly tells him before walking away. Meanwhile, after Mirai leaves, all the other girls eventually quit the job too because the manager turned out to be a complete creep. He behaved rudely toward everyone, and the whole workplace felt suspicious and uncomfortable. Now outside, Mirai starts feeling cold, so Kai quietly takes off his shirt and places it around her shoulders. This instantly makes Mirai really happy. Then, while wearing Kai's shirt, she notices something familiar. Kai is wearing the same perfume she gifted him earlier, and realizing this makes her even happier. Kai casually explains that since she gifted it to him, of course he had to try it at least once. Then he even admits that the fragrance actually smells pretty good. Hearing this makes Mireille smile brightly. Then she asks whether he has thought more about his mother. Kai replies that maybe he truly misunderstood her all along. So now he wants to properly meet her again and slowly fix their relationship. He also says that he plans to confront his father too. Hearing this makes Mireille genuinely happy. But then Kai suddenly says something unexpected. He tells Mireille that he also wants to change for her. He says he will stop doing things that make her uncomfortable and promises that he will not scare her anymore. Hearing this makes Mireille even happier, and she immediately starts thanking him. Now both of them quietly look at each other, feeling strangely comfortable together. At this point, they have truly started becoming close friends, and honestly, it is obvious that Kai is slowly falling for Mireille too. Far away, Honami is secretly watching everything, and she is burning with jealousy. She cannot understand why someone as handsome as Kai would choose Mireille over a natural beauty like herself. In her eyes, Mireille is nothing more than a plastic monster. Because of that, Honami decides she will separate them no matter what, since according to her, Mireille does not deserve happiness. In the next scene, we see Kai visiting Miss Shirashi's perfume shop. The moment she sees him, she becomes shocked, but warmly tells him how happy she is that he came. Kai apologizes and admits that he misunderstood her all this time. But Miss Shirashi gently tells him not to blame himself because out of everyone, he was actually the one who suffered the most. Hearing this finally calms Kai down a little. The next day, Sakura and Midori are sitting in a cafe talking about going home after exams. And right then, Kai suddenly arrives there. To their complete shock, Kai actually replies to their "good morning." This surprises both girls because Kai never behaved like this before. Then, when Mireille arrives and sits beside him, Sakura and Midori quietly notice how different Kai seems today. For the first time ever, he actually looks happy. Meanwhile, Mireille tells Kai that she really likes the fragrance of his perfume, but Kai suddenly misunderstands her words and thinks Mireille is indirectly saying she likes him. So for a few seconds, he just sits there completely shocked. But then Mireille quickly clarifies that she was only talking about the perfume smell, making Kai awkwardly panic before agreeing. Right then, a few boys come over and start teasing Kai, saying he has become really popular lately. They even mention that he rejected a senior girl named Rina. Hearing this makes Kai instantly glance toward Mireille before denying everything. After the boys leave, Mireille casually says that Kai really has become super popular. Now it is time for Mireille's next class, so she stands up to leave. But before she goes, Kai awkwardly stops her and says that he is actually not that popular. Mireille simply replies, "Okay," before leaving, while Kai quietly keeps staring at her. Then, Sakura suddenly comes near Kai and directly asks whether he likes Mireille. The moment she says this, Kai almost panics. Then Sakura laughs and tells him that if he truly likes Mireille, he should gather courage and confess properly. Hearing this only makes Kai more nervous because deep down he knows it is true. He really has started falling for Mireille. Outside, Mireille suddenly runs into Mukai again. Mukai apologizes for the uncomfortable job situation, but then honestly admits that the apology was only an excuse because what he truly wants is to take Mireille on a proper date. He even starts asking what kind of dates she likes and whether he should plan everything himself. Hearing this completely shocks Mireille. Then she quietly admits that she has actually never gone on a date before. This seriously surprises Mukai because according to him, almost everyone has dated someone before. So he finds it hard to believe that someone like Mireille never had a boyfriend. The next day, Mireille arrives in class wearing a completely new outfit. Sakura instantly compliments her, saying she looks really stylish today. Then Mireille sits beside Kai and takes out 2 perfumes, asking him which one she should wear. Kai chooses the orange perfume. But right then, Midori suddenly asks whether Mireille is going on a date with Mukai. Mireille shyly says yes, and hearing this instantly hurts Kai. You can literally see the shock on his face. Then Midori asks Mireille what she thinks about Mukai. Mireille replies that he seems nice. But then Sakura suddenly asks the real question. What does Mireille think about Kai? This instantly makes Mireille nervous because she feels Kai might not like hearing something strange from her. So she quickly says that Kai is simply a really good friend. But hearing this gives Kai an even bigger shock because now he realizes Mireille currently sees him as nothing more than a friend. Later, after class, Mireille meets Mukai. The moment he gets close to her, he smells her perfume and compliments it, saying it smells really good. Then Mireille happily explains that Kai actually chose this perfume for her. Hearing this makes Mukai smirk slightly before asking whether Mireille knows that Kai probably likes her. According to Mukai, that is definitely the feeling he got from him. but Mireille instantly denies it and says there is no way a guy like Kai would ever like someone like her. Meanwhile, Kai is sitting alone in the cafeteria, sadly thinking about how Mireille only called him a friend. Then Sakura comes to him again and tells him to stop sitting around sadly. She says that if he truly likes Mireille, then he should ask her out too. Kai nervously asks how he is supposed to do that. Then Sakura gives him free tickets to an art museum and tells him to take Mireille there. Seeing this surprises Kai, and he asks why Sakura is helping him so much. Then Sakura honestly explains that she does not want another guy like Sudo to hurt Mireille again. She also admits that she cannot fully trust Mukai either. That is why she wants Kai to do something, because she can clearly see he genuinely cares about Mireille. Hearing this makes Kai nervous, but eventually he agrees. Meanwhile, Sakura quietly thinks about how funny Kai actually is. Normally, he acts fearless and fights anyone without hesitation, but when it comes to love, he acts like a shy little kid. The next day, when Mireille arrives at college, Maduri immediately asks how her date went. Mireille tries acting normal and casually says it was just okay, but then she starts remembering moments from the date. At one point, Mireille thanked Mukai for taking her out, but instead, Mukai thanked her for choosing him as the first person she ever went on a date with. And honestly, hearing that made Mireille really happy. Just remembering it now makes her cheeks turn red. Seeing this, Maduri instantly starts teasing her and says that something definitely happened between them, but Mireille quickly denies it. Then Mireille goes and sits beside Kai. Meanwhile, Sakura secretly makes hand signals behind Mireille, telling Kai to talk to her already. Kai is extremely nervous, but after gathering all his courage, he finally asks whether Mireille would go with him to the art museum. Mireille becomes surprised but naturally agrees because she assumes Kai is only inviting her because of some college project. And honestly, Kai never properly explains his real intentions either. Now, after class, when Kai is walking through the corridor, Honami once again tries talking to him. But Kai completely ignores her and walks away, which seriously irritates her. The next day, Mireille is sitting alone near a tree when she suddenly remembers something Mukai once told her. During their earlier conversation, Mukai had mentioned that boys often use project work as an excuse to secretly ask girls out. And the moment Mireille remembers this, she suddenly becomes nervous. She immediately starts thinking there is no way Kai invited her like that. According to her, Kai definitely only asked casually. But right then, Kai suddenly arrives wearing a blue shirt, and honestly, he looks extremely handsome in it. So handsome that Mireille cannot stop staring at him. Then she directly tells him that he looks really beautiful today. But instead of enjoying the compliment, Kai notices that Mireille is dressed casually. Instantly, he starts overthinking because when she went on a date with Mukai, she dressed up carefully. But with him, she came normally. Then Mireille says she should at least pay him back for the tickets. So Kai tells her not to worry because he got the tickets for free. He tells her that right now, nothing is more important to him than her. And after saying that, he simply walks ahead. Meanwhile, Mireille just stands there completely shocked. Now, when the two of them finally arrive at the museum, they realize something unexpected. It turns out the place is actually an insect museum. Basically, Sakura accidentally gave Kai the wrong tickets. After leaving the museum, Kai takes Mireille to a cafe. There, Mireille happily shows him the shirt she bought from the museum gift shop. Then she looks around and says the cafe feels really cute before asking whether he comes there often. But Kai replies that he actually found this cafe only yesterday. Just for her. Hearing this instantly makes Mireille feel strange again. She keeps wondering what he meant by just for her. Then she tells Kai that he is actually a really nice guy. The moment she says this, Kai suddenly starts staring directly at her. This instantly makes Mireille nervous, so she quickly excuses herself and heads to the restroom. While standing there alone, she starts thinking deeply. When she was with Mukai, everything genuinely felt like a normal date. But with Kai, she does not even understand what is happening anymore. She feels way too nervous around him. Right then, Mireille overhears a few girls talking about Kai. They are saying how unbelievably handsome he is, and that his future girlfriend must also be extremely beautiful. Hearing this instantly fills Mireille with doubt. She starts believing that she does not deserve someone like Kai. According to her, a naturally beautiful girl would suit him much better, not someone like her. When Mireille comes back, Kai suddenly asks whether she likes Mukai, but Mireille cannot answer him, and after seeing her silence, Kai decides not to ask again. Then both of them start heading home together. On the way, Mireille once again insists that she should at least pay half the money because she did not spend anything today. But Kai refuses again. He is about to say something else, but suddenly heavy rain starts pouring. So both of them quickly stand under a nearby shelter. Then Kai smells Mireille's perfume and asks whether she had trouble choosing a fragrance today too, just like the day she went on her date with Mukai. But Mireille replies that today was different because she always wears blueberry anyway. Hearing this makes Kai go silent again because once again, he feels hurt inside. And right then, lightning suddenly strikes loudly nearby. The sound scares Mireille so much that she instinctively grabs Kai's hand. Kai becomes completely shocked and immediately looks at her. At the same time, Mireille also stares at him in surprise because even she cannot believe what she just did. So, the very next second, she panics and runs away directly into the rain. Even after reaching home, Mireille cannot stop thinking about Kai, but then she forces herself to stop. She keeps convincing herself that the feelings she is developing can never become reality because she does not deserve someone like Kai. The next day at college, Mireille keeps worrying about how she is supposed to face Kai after grabbing his hand last night. But right then, Kai suddenly appears in front of her and casually wishes her good morning. This instantly makes Mireille panic again, and she cannot even reply properly. Kai gets confused and asks what happened. So Mireille quickly apologizes and explains that yesterday she only grabbed his hand because she got scared from the thunder, and that there was nothing else behind it. After saying this, she quickly walks away through another path. Meanwhile, Kai just stands there wondering why Mireille always acts so nervous around him. Now inside the building, Honami suddenly stops Mireille and directly asks whether she likes Kai. This completely shocks Mireille, but after thinking for a moment, she denies it and says they are just friends. Hearing this makes Honami smile happily. Then she reveals something unexpected. She says that she actually likes Kai and wants Mireille to help her make him her boyfriend. The moment Mireille hears this, her entire mood changes. She clearly does not feel good hearing it, but despite that, she still forces herself to agree. This makes Honami extremely happy. Then she asks Mireille to arrange a lunch setup for them so she can properly talk to Kai, and eventually, Mireille agrees. After that, Honami hugs her tightly and thanks her before happily leaving. Meanwhile, while Mireille walks toward the cafeteria thinking about all this, she suddenly overhears some boys talking nearby. They are saying that Honami and Kai would look perfect together like an ideal couple. Hearing this hurts Mireille even more, but despite that, she still walks up to Kai and asks whether he is free today because she wants everyone to go for lunch together. The moment Kai hears this, he immediately assumes Mireille is asking him out, so he instantly agrees. But then Mireille nervously asks whether it would be okay if she invited one more person too. And hearing this instantly ruins Kai's mood. Then the scene shifts to a restaurant where Kai, Mireille, and Honami are now sitting together. And honestly, Kai's blood is boiling the entire time because he cannot understand why Mireille brought Honami along. Meanwhile, Honami politely asks whether she interrupted something between the two of them. But Mireille immediately replies that nothing like that exists because she and Kai are just friends. Hearing this, Honami smiles and calls Mireille cute. Then she turns toward Kai and says that she honestly did not expect him to show up. But Kai coldly replies that if he had known Honami was coming, he genuinely would not have come at all. In fact, he even says that if she leaves right now, he would not mind it even slightly, because he has absolutely no interest in her. The moment Honami hears this, her expression completely drops. Meanwhile, Mireille quickly tries stopping Kai and says he should not talk like that. But Honami acts understanding and says she is already used to Kai's attitude. Then she asks him what type of girls he likes. Kai answers that he likes girls who wear perfume. But instead of understanding the obvious hint Kai is giving her, Mireille innocently starts talking about how she originally thought Kai disliked perfumes. Then she happily mentions that it is nice he is finally using the perfume she gifted him, and even says that the fragrance would probably make his mom happy too. But hearing Mireille respond like this completely ruins Kai's mood again. Then Mireille asks Honami whether she likes perfumes too, but Honami replies that she never really cared much about things like that. And right then, Mireille suddenly receives a call from Mukai, so she excuses herself and walks outside. The moment Mireille leaves, Honami immediately turns toward Kai and directly asks him whether he likes Mireille. Hearing this, Kai calmly replies that no matter what he feels, it does not matter anymore because he already knows Mireille does not like him back. Then Honami smiles and tells him that she likes him instead, and that is exactly why Mireille arranged this entire lunch today. Meanwhile, outside, Mireille is talking to Mukai on the phone and tells him that they should meet tomorrow after college. But after ending the call, she looks back inside the restaurant and notices Honami smiling while sitting with Kai. And seeing that instantly makes her think that Kai and Honami really do look good together. Then she starts thinking about how kind Kai is as a friend. So according to her, he would probably become an even better boyfriend. After that, Mireille walks back inside and suddenly makes an excuse that she has important work and needs to leave. But the moment Mireille leaves, Kai also gets up and follows her outside. And honestly, this completely ruins Honami's mood because now she feels like she has absolutely no value in front of Kai. Well outside, Kai quickly stops Mireille and asks what exactly she was trying to do. But Mireille instead asks why he left Honami alone at the restaurant. Kai replies that Honami does not matter right now and asks why Mireille suddenly wanted to bring them together in the first place. So finally, Mireille honestly says that almost everyone thinks Kai and Honami look perfect together. But hearing this makes Kai upset. He says that before deciding something like that, Mireille should have at least cared about what he wants too. Then Mireille explains that she only wanted to see how good Kai would be as a boyfriend because he is already such a good friend. But Kai does not fully understand what she means, so he asks again. However, Mireille avoids the topic and starts walking away. And right then, Kai suddenly grabs her hand and directly asks the question that completely shocks her. He asks whether she has ever had feelings for him. The moment Mireille hears this, she immediately pulls her hand away in panic and quickly denies everything. She says that she has always only seen him as a good friend, and if Kai misunderstood her feelings, then she is sorry. After saying that, she hurriedly leaves while Kai just stands there silently. Meanwhile, Mireille stops farther away and starts thinking deeply. She begins wondering whether it really looks like she likes Kai, and suddenly she becomes so overwhelmed that she literally screams out loud in the middle of the road while everyone around her starts staring. Because honestly, Kai's question completely shook her. Now, on the other side, Honami returns home. She immediately goes into the bathroom, stands under the shower, and starts thinking deeply while looking extremely angry. Then, the next day at college, Sakura and Midori tell Kai that apparently Honami wants to date him. Kai becomes confused and asks where they even heard that from. And they reply that literally everyone in college is talking about it. Hearing this, Kai quietly walks away, and right then he runs into Mireille. Both of them awkwardly wish each other good morning. Then Mireille apologizes for not answering his calls last night. Kai says it is fine, but then tells her to answer today because he needs to talk to her about something important. After that, he seriously tells her to stop helping Honami, because according to him, that would be better for Mireille herself. And after saying that, he leaves. Meanwhile, Mireille heads inside the building. Then she suddenly hears voices coming from a nearby room. When she looks inside, she sees a group of people sitting with Honami and comforting her. Apparently, Honami has been telling everyone that Kai and Mireille invited her out yesterday, only to leave her alone and disappear together. And because of this, everyone immediately starts attacking Mireille verbally. They call her a terrible friend and even bring up her plastic surgery again, saying that despite changing her face, she still acts arrogant. Meanwhile, Honami pretends to act sweet and tells everyone not to say things like that because according to her, Mireille genuinely worked hard to help her talk with Kai. But despite Honami's fake kindness, everyone keeps insulting Mireille non-stop, and eventually Mireille's heart completely breaks, so she quietly walks outside. Then Honami follows her outside and pretends to apologize for everyone's behavior. Mireille quietly says it is okay. But before she can say anything else, Honami suddenly asks her to continue helping her because she truly loves Kai and believes Mireille is the only person who can bring them together. Then Honami suddenly brings up yesterday's perfume question too. She says that she actually dislikes perfumes because they are fake, while she personally believes in natural fragrance. But honestly, this was not really about perfume at all. It was simply another way to indirectly insult Mireille and make her feel inferior. After saying all this, Honami leaves, and once again Mireille starts drowning in self-doubt. Now in the next scene, we see Mireille sitting alone in the cafeteria. Then Mukai suddenly calls her and reminds her that they were supposed to go on a date today. Mireille quickly apologizes and says she cannot come, but hearing her voice instantly makes Mukai realize that something is wrong. So he tells her to wait because he is coming to meet her right now. Well, immediately after Mukai's call ends, Mireille receives another call. Without even checking the screen, she answers because she assumes it is Mukai again. But then Kai's voice comes from the other side. He says that it is him, not Mukai, and asks where she is right now. The moment Mireille hears Kai's voice, she becomes nervous and immediately cuts the call again. And right then, Mukai arrives and sits beside her. He gently asks what happened, but Mireille refuses to say anything. So Mukai directly asks whether she is upset because of something related to Kai. And finally, Mirai tells him everything. She explains that one of her friends likes Kai, but Kai does not like that girl back. After hearing this, Mukai says that maybe Kai and Mirai have become very close, but Mirai immediately denies it and says that they are only friends. Then Mirai herself suddenly brings up her plastic surgery again. She tells Mukai that she completely changed her face through surgery and that she never originally looked like this. So according to her, Mukai should think carefully again about whether he truly wants to date her or not. But Mukai calmly replies that he likes her exactly the way she is now. And honestly, even he does not fully understand why. According to him, Mirai probably would not understand those feelings easily either. Mirai cannot respond to this. So Mukai directly asks whether she likes him. But Mirai says that while Mukai is definitely a good guy, she genuinely does not understand what she is feeling right now. Then Mukai tells her that it is okay and that they can talk about all this another time. And after saying that, he quietly leaves. Meanwhile, Kai is becoming increasingly worried about Mirai because she still is not properly answering his calls. Then we see Honami approaching Kai and asking him if he is looking for Mirai. But Kai, who is already irritated by her presence, tells her to stay away from him. He clearly says that she should understand by now that he has never liked her since day one. Honami gets annoyed hearing this, but just then she notices Mirai walking toward them. In that moment, Honami intentionally hugs Kai just to create a misunderstanding. And exactly as she planned, Mirai sees this scene and gets completely shocked. But the moment Kai notices Mirai watching them, she panics and quickly runs away. Kai gets furious at Honami, pushes her away and calls her pathetic before immediately running after Mirai. He catches up to her and asks why she always keeps running away from him like this, but Mirai stays silent. So Kai finally confesses directly. He says that he genuinely likes her and wants them to stay together forever. Then he asks her to give him a final answer. Mirai is completely shocked hearing this. After a long silence, she finally says something unexpected. She tells him that since he is so good-looking, she does not think he should like someone like her. Hearing this instantly hurts Kai. He asks whether this is really her answer because it sounds like she only cares about looks and not feelings. Mirai stays silent again, and that silence gives Kai his answer. So with a broken heart, he turns around and walks away. Meanwhile, Mirai is left standing there completely confused, asking herself what she is even doing. Then the scene cuts to night. Mirai is inside her room when suddenly her mirror falls and breaks. Looking at the shattered mirror, she starts thinking about how much effort she put into becoming thin and beautiful. She even went through plastic surgery, but in the end, she still feels like nothing changed. According to her, she has become nothing more than a plastic monster who cannot even express her real feelings honestly. The next day, Honami is leaving her house when she meets Midori. Midori happily says that now they can walk together more often, but Honami refuses, saying she prefers walking alone because she is on a diet. After Midori leaves, Honami starts thinking again about everything Kai said earlier, and nearby, it is shown that someone is secretly watching her. However, the identity of that person is still hidden. Meanwhile, in class, Mirai goes and sits beside Kai, trying to talk to him, but Kai coldly tells her that things cannot go back to how they were anymore. After saying this, he changes his seat, leaving Mirai hurt and speechless. Later during lunch, Mirai quietly sits with Sakura. Sakura directly asks whether she rejected Kai, and Mirai becomes shocked that she already knows. Sakura explains that she honestly thought Mirai liked Kai too. Mirai admits that she does not fully understand her own feelings, but maybe the fact that she wants things to return to normal means she really does like him. Then Sakura tells her that both of them are idiots and should fix things quickly. After that, Mirai goes to meet Honami outside the class. She tells her that she cannot help her anymore with the Kai situation. She says Honami is cute and confident, so she does not need anyone's help. Honami is shocked by how suddenly Mirai refuses, but then she calmly replies that it is okay because Mirai already helped enough anyway. Then Honami thanks Mirai for calling her cute, but suddenly she walks closer with a serious expression and says that being naturally cute is actually a blessing. That is why so many people even go through plastic surgery just to become pretty. And because of people like them with natural beauty, others end up suffering. After saying this, she simply walks away. Mirai is left completely shocked. For the first time, she realizes that Honami may have secretly hated her from the very beginning. Meanwhile, Sakura suddenly runs into Mukai. Mukai asks about Mirei because she has not replied to his messages since yesterday. Then he suddenly asks whether Mirei and Kai are dating, but Sakura immediately reveals that Mirei actually rejected Kai. Hearing this makes Mukai unexpectedly happy because now he finally feels things are clear. Then he explains that Mirei is deeply insecure about herself, but he genuinely does not care about her past or plastic surgery at all. What matters to him is who she is now. Hearing this leaves Sakura surprised because she always assumed Mukai was not serious about Mirei. After that, Mirei crosses paths with Sakura again. Sakura notices her sad expression and asks what happened. Meanwhile, in Honami's class, a boy named Yoon quietly keeps staring at her photos. It is revealed that he is secretly following and watching Honami every day, but she has no idea about any of this. On the other side, Mirei tells Sakura everything Honami said to her. After hearing this, Sakura gets angry and says that Honami is actually a terrible person pretending to be nice. Then suddenly, they hear a girl nearby teasing Kai. The girl starts making rude comments about Mirei's body, and hearing this makes Kai lose his temper instantly. He grabs the girl by her collar and warns her to watch her words. The girl demands an apology, but Kai refuses. At that moment, Sakura steps in to stop the fight. And then, for the first time, Mirei takes a stand herself. She tells the girl that she should apologize first because nobody has the right to insult her like that. She even warns that if it happens again, she will file a complaint. Everyone becomes shocked seeing this new side of Mirei. The girl quickly apologizes and leaves. Later, Kai and Mirei are walking home together. Kai says that he hates people like that and feels like beating them up whenever they insult her. Mirei quietly agrees, but then sadly calls herself a plastic beauty. Kai immediately disagrees and says he hates hearing people talk about her like that. He explains that he is not angry at her. He is angry at the people hurting her. And honestly, he feels frustrated because he cannot protect her from everything. Mirei quietly listens, realizing how deeply Kai truly cares about her. Then Kai says they should just head home and starts walking ahead. At that moment, Mirei suddenly gathers all her courage and shouts from behind that she likes him too. But right as she says it, a loud train passes by and completely drowns out her voice. Kai hears nothing and keeps walking. Meanwhile, Mirei stands there disappointed because after finally confessing, her feelings still did not reach him. And with that emotional moment, the part finally comes to an end.